The Mangala saga has accelerated in the last 24 hours as he is ready to leave Nottingham Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are well and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. In today's video, we'll bring you up to speed on everything to do with Mangala and what looks like his impending departure from Nottingham Forest. We'll give you the latest update on the FFP saga as that looks to be concluded tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow, the 14th. Whether or not Forest will get any kind of punishment. Let's jump into this, but before we do, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to FFTV if you are new, as we will keep you up to date on everything that's going on right now at Nottingham Forest. And one quick little shout out, if you haven't already, please do download Sofascore's app. Either scan the QR code or click in the link that's pinned in the description. Thank you to everyone who's downloaded it. You don't know how much you're helping us, and it's a fantastic app that gives you all your football scores, your football stats, everything like that. So go check it out. Okay, let's jump into this. So I'm going to get everyone up to speed so we're all on the same page and know exactly where everything is. And how do we do that? Let's start at the beginning and bring everyone forward with us. This all started 2 days ago. As we mentioned on yesterday's video, a bid came in from Galatasaray. But what that did, that kind of lifted the rock up and it showed us what was going on underneath. As Mangala has now come out and basically said, from the reports that I'm hearing, and then it looks like a lot of other people have reported it as well, that he is not happy at Nottingham Forest and is ready to go. And he's not happy with not the treatment, but the lack of game time he's been giving under Nuno. Now, when you break this down, there's certain layers to it as well. And I think one of the key layers, and it's something we're probably going to see throughout this whole transfer window, and that, of course, is the Euros that are coming at the end of the year. And that's something that's on Mangala's mind, clearly. He needs to be playing game time. And as I just said, you're going to see other players. We've talked about like Ramsdale from Arsenal. What's he going to do? And there's a few players who aren't getting into their current team that are probably going to want moves away or loan moves away to enable them to showcase themselves in front. And this is where I think Mangala's head's at. And the other thing I think he's feeling, and this is me talking now, is that to a man or a woman, most of us would have at least put Mangala in the top 5 best players so far this season from Nottingham Forest. I'd go as far as to say under Cooper's reign this season, he was probably the most standout player. I would have had him at number 1 during that reign. But Nuno doesn't see it like that. Some of you guys think he doesn't fit into a Nuno system. For me, I think Nuno wants someone who's probably progressing the ball more from a CDM position rather than a bit of sideways passes, etc. But let's not dull down how important Mangala has been and how good of a player he actually is. I think he's still fantastic. I don't really want him to go. But when we look at the economical side of it, if you like, the business side of it, Forest do need to sell some players. And what player can we sell that wouldn't impact the squad but brings us in some money? What do I mean by this? Forest could probably sell Morgan Gibbs-White, let's say, and demand a value. Let's just call it 60 million for argument's sake. Don't argue with me in the comments about his value. I'm just chucking a number. The point here is, if Morgan Gibbs-White were to go, we don't really have another number 10 who can do what he's currently doing under Nuno. You could say the same about Taiwo. Maybe Forest could get 50 million for him or something. I don't know. But would you then want to rely on Chris Woods or Hwang or whoever else we've got or Origi as your striker? No. So I think strategically what Nuno's done here is that he's looked at the position where we have the most cover. And you could probably say maybe one of the reasons we've only seen him for 45 minutes against Bournemouth is because this may have been in the back of his mind. Could he cut out some squad players that could generate some cash? And when you break down the logic like that, it kind of starts to make a bit of sense. Again, I'm not saying I'm behind it, but I'm just working through the logic of it. And that's where the logic kind of is for me. Now, am I right? Maybe not. Maybe him and Mangala just don't get on. Maybe Mangala's the one fully pushing this move now. But that's where it's got to now, where it's Mangala who wants to sit down with Nuno and discuss what the road ahead is. And it's not so much of where am I going to get my game time. The discussion that's apparently going to be planned in the next day or so is about can he go? And is it going to be a low move? Is it going to be a permanent move, etc.? So where we are now is that Napoli have submitted a bid to Forest, basically a 6-month loan, or you could say till the end of the season, with an option to buy. What that option to buy is, we don't know yet. Working on it. Now, the other thing that's happening is Juventus, it sounds like from Italian reports that I'm seeing, that they're looking to put a package together because they're very keen on Mangala. And what's gone really quiet in all of this is the whole Galatasaray bid, how much it is, etc. Now, the main point here is there are more reports coming out saying that Forest don't want to put him out on loan and would reject a loan move, unless I assume there was an obligation to buy it at the end of it. So it sounds like the discussions that are going to happen in the next couple of days are going to be about doing it as a permanent move. Because when you put it down on the table, and you ask yourself, what do Forest gain out of this? As much as I love Mangala, I care about Forest more. If Forest were to put Mangala out on loan, there's no financial benefit to us, apart from unless they take 100% wages. He's not on a king's ransom. He's on about 30 to 40k, which is somewhere in the average department for Forest. So we're not going to save a Chris Wood salary or a Rigi salary by doing it. It's not, in footballing terms, like, give me 30k a week, hell yeah. But so that's not a benefit. We're not getting any upfront cash unless we put a loan fee to it. And that might be another option Forest go with. A bit like we did with Chris Wood last year. We could say to Napoli or Juve, okay, you can take him on loan, but we want a £5 million fee up front, a loan fee for him, and then the option to buy is going to be X amount. But a straight up loan, I can't see the value in it. And if Forest were to do it, I think we would need to question the reasons behind it. So at the moment, the next steps are that Mangala is going to speak to Nuno. They're going to thrash it out, if you like, or have a discussion about can he go, can't he go. But the reports coming out are he wants to leave now. He's kind of made his mind up. How do you guys feel about this? And what do you think about the whole loan to obligation and sell on? Which one would you guys do? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so let's move on and give you as much as I know about the FFP stuff and the update, because it is upon us. Tomorrow is the day. Now, there is talks that we know for sure it's tomorrow, but whether or not we get to hear about it till Monday, I'm not sure. So either expect it to be broken on the 14th. Obviously, we'll tell you about it, unless it's during my under-13s football match, and you're going to have to wait a couple of hours. But it may be the 15th when they publicly tell everyone. So I want to talk you through what's going to happen. I think these are the key points we need. There's no news on whether or not Forest have breached it. Let me just get it out the way now. We don't know. We won't know until the 14th. Neither will Forest. But let me run you through the measures here. So the accounts submitted by the 31st, we already have talked about that. The announcement will be on January the 14th. Any club that's found to be in breach then has 2 weeks to appeal, and a subsequent hearing must be concluded by the 8th of April. And any points deduction or any penalties imposed will be applied by the end of the season. So let's just play out the scenario. If Forest were found in breach, and let's say they got the same penalty as Everton, they've got then 2 weeks to appeal. That appeal has to be heard by April, and it has to be taken off the tally by then. So definitely what's not going to happen is if Forest get found in breach and the penalty is 10 points, it's not going to come out on Monday that we're suddenly down 10 points. There's still going to be that appeal process for 2 weeks. The penalties could then come anytime in that period between that date and the 8th of April. But we don't necessarily need to just focus this on Nottingham Forest, because there's other clubs that are in trouble. Or, well, it's all clubs, you could technically say. Most of the clubs, and the reason we're seeing such a quiet January transfer window is because people haven't got the money to spend anymore. This tightening of the FFP and Everton getting the penalties and the date change in terms of when the returns had to be has got all the clubs counting the coppers. But every kind of accountant, if you like, is saying Forest have to worry. Everton could be in trouble. The one that came out yesterday was Wolves are going to potentially be in trouble as well. Those are your top three if you were betting of teams would be in trouble. And then obviously Chelsea, I think Chelsea are okay because they're academy sales, and Man City will just brown envelope it. So we will keep you up to date on what's going to happen come Sunday, if it comes out on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll tell you on Monday. But that's literally it. There's no point in even waffling on any more about it, because just pucker up your buttholes until Sunday and hope for the best. And anyone who's telling you anything else is basically either predicting or can see into the future or anything like that. They don't know. No one knows. Unless they can show you that they've seen the accounts, which they haven't, it's all a guessing game. So that's your transfer news update. That's your FFP update. We're going to be doing a live watch along for the Man City Newcastle match today on the Footy Network, our second channel. So go subscribe to that if you haven't already, and come join us and we'll have a Forest chat on there as well while we're watching the football. I think kickoff's in the afternoon at 4:30. We'll be live 10-15 minutes before that. We'll see you then. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, and we'll see you for the watch along. Come on, you Reds.